Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Generative Geek. Today I want to introduce you to Make.com. Make.com is a very powerful task and workflow automation software using which and connecting AI to it will be able to build phenomenal applications. Phenomenal guys. I have been playing with it for the last few days and what I've realized is that the power of these kind of tools is next level. Think of it this way. They provide 1,000+ apps to which they have integrated, right? So connect almost any app that you can think of, all of these apps. You want to do something with data and then push it to LinkedIn. There's a connector for it. You want to do something and then push it to AWS S3. You don't have to write code for it. You want to read Gmail? No need to write code for it, right? You want to maybe send data or a chat completion to OpenAI, or maybe you want to transcribe your audio using Whisper. All of these adapters are available. So they have 1,000+ adapters, right? So you can use any of these adapters and build very complex workflows without writing code, which allows you to save your time, increase your productivity, super flexible, is very production grade. I know of a few people whom I interacted with in recent past. They are running their backends on this, right? They have enterprise plans. They are running backends on this. Doesn't mean they are hundreds of millions of dollars worth of business. Then it makes no sense. But let's just say you are starting out. You want to learn things. You want to quickly do various integrations, build a prototype, and take it to the market. This is one of the right tool for it, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to build applications using things like complex workflows where you set up an alert on Google, right? And then you do follow that, and you want to do some pre-processing on the article. You want to send whatever pre-processing you have done to ChatGPT. Then you want to save to a database. You want to publish on LinkedIn. All of these kind of things you can build visually using Make.com. Make.com has these things called what we call as scenarios. I have done some work on it. So let's just say you build these visual scenarios. It's just going to load up and you will be able to see these kind of visual scenarios, right? Which tell you, hey, maybe something is going to show up on the webhook. When that happens, do some text parsing on it, save some data on Airtable, and then do some various calls, right? So all of this complex logic we'll be able to build using the application logic that we are going to build. I'm going to teach you all of this. Today what we are going to do is we are going to build a very simple integration. It's simple because Make.com makes you feel that it's simple. Otherwise, if we had to write code for it, it would have been a fairly complex job. What we're going to do is we're going to go to Google Alerts. We're going to set up an alert on some keyword of interest. So let's just say OpenAI, right? If you are an AI developer and you are interested in whatever OpenAI news is coming on the internet, you set up an alert on OpenAI. That OpenAI keyword, we are going to, whatever new articles come up, we are going to follow them, right? Follow in the sense we are going to take that news article, we're going to go to that website and then see what is written there. Then we might want to do some pre-processing on that article to figure out if that article is of interest or not. We can have any logic for it. So these are like conditions. Then if that article fits that condition, we want to send it to ChatGPT, maybe to make a blog out of it, right? Maybe there was a couple of lines that someone wrote on OpenAI that, hey, OpenAI just released a voice to voice kind of an API. And you want to now build a complete article for your blog so that as it happens, you want to publish that blog, right? You want to send it out on Twitter. You want to send it out on LinkedIn, whatever you want to do. So but you are sleeping that time. These things can happen anytime. You are not in front of the laptop, but you run a publishing business, or you want to be there. You want to be the news guy for your followers, right? As far as certain keywords are concerned. So you will do that. Then that post-processing, if you want to do, you will do some post-processing. You might want to save it to a database, like let's say an Airtable. And then once that's saved, you might want to publish it to the web or to LinkedIn or to Facebook. Or you might want to just say, hey, you know what, saving to the database was enough for me. I'm going to get up in the morning and then figure out what to do with it. That's also completely all right. So we are going to build all of this today using Make.com, and I'm going to show you how step by step you need to follow. You just have to follow. We're going to create a new account. There's no credit card required. Nothing is required. But obviously, if we are going to make requests to ChatGPT, you will need a key. And I'll cover all of that step by step, right? So let's get started. So what we are going to do is we'll first go to make.com, and when you go to make.com, one of the things that you need to do is you have to sign up there, right? And the beauty of make.com is you don't have to pay, or it says no credit card required, and they have a fairly generous plan, right? If you go to the pricing for $0, you get 1,000 operations every month. Now 1,000 operations, in my experience, is not a lot, but it is good enough for you to get started and experience make.com, right? So you will be able to build for our kind of thing that we are building today. It will take maybe for every run, it'll take maybe 10 operations per run. So that means it'll still give you 100 runs of that operation. And this is like every month. So every month your quota will reset. But let's just say once you have learned and you find use cases, you can upgrade to a core plan, which is $9 per month, which, that I'll leave it to you, how you want to use it and things like that. My job today is to get you started, right? So once you go to make.com, click on login, and you can then sign up, right? What I did is I'll just sign in with Google. And I'm also creating a new account right now. So let's see if it forces me to then go to a sign up page. No, I think it is already detected that I am logged in. So what I'll do is I'll log out of this and then again relog in. But though this is a very new account, there is no. If you go to scenarios, there is no scenario, right? So this is as good as new, and this is an unpaid account. So if you go to organization, you can see in my dashboard I have $0 and I get 1,000 operations available, right? So you can see that I have just 1,000 operations here. So it's a free account. But let me just what I'll do is I'll just quickly sign out, and then because I told you I'm going to create a new account, and I'll go to sign in with Google. Once I do, I think sign in with Google is the problem here, because Google is already signed in, and yeah. Sure, maybe I'll just close this, come back here, maybe create a new one, go to google.com, and then see, okay, I'm here, go to make.com, select cookies, confirm my choice, log in, and then say sign in with Google. I am now getting an option to select an account. I'll just unlock my one password and then say webhub.pandey at start quick bot. So I'm just creating a new account. Continue, sign in, and what I've done is in this Chrome tab called shopping, I'm just creating a new make.com account, right? So I'm just saying save webhub.pandey. Yeah, so okay, and it's saying, hey, if you are signing up, which region you are in, which country are you in. I'll just say United States, and hosting region is US, and I'll say sign up for free, right? So this is largely the step. It will then ask you what kind of work you are in. I'll just select development and what are your goals. This is mostly for their data collection. This does not change in any way the interface you will see once you log in, right? So you can pick whatever is your experience. It kind of helps them understand who their user is, and how big is the company, where did you find them, and then get started, right? So once you are done with all of this, I'm sure I'm hoping they have some statistical sampling measures in place to not just trust the data they are getting blindly, but rather sample it and remove noise from it and things like that. So once you have this, what is going to happen is you will land up in this screen, right? This is your dashboard. This is basically where you can see what kind of a plan you are on, what is the price, how many operations you have which are unused, and things like that. There is a quota that you are provided every month. Then what happens is make.com has something called as a scenario, right? So scenario is where you basically go out and build this entire thing, right? So now if we have to build this entire thing out, how do you structure it in make.com? That's called a scenario, and a scenario then gives you access to various modules which you can use to create workflows, right? So like in our case, if the workflow requires us to set up a Google keyword and then follow that article and all of that, the way I'm going to do it is, now that I have a make.com account, I'll quickly go to google.com. Not this tab, I'll go to the shopping tab and say google.com alerts. So I'm just going to go to google.com alerts, and if you have never used alerts, alert is a very interesting way to get started with monitoring something that you are interested in. So if, let's say, I'm interested in OpenAI, and then I can say, hey, which region you are interested in, and I'll select instead of an email, and you have an option where I can get an email, or I can just I can just get all the alert information as part of an RSS feed. Right now, how often, as it happens, as soon as Google detects that something with that keyword has shown up on the internet, it is going to populate this in the RSS now. So now my RSS is populated. I can see that there is an RSS icon. I can click on it, and I can see that there is something showing up, right? So this is the RSS feed that I need to monitor. Right. So what I'm now going to do is, we have an RSS feed. This feed will have things about whenever something gets discussed on the internet about, I can go to some RSS feed viewer, and then just put this RSS and say view RSS, right? So let's just see what shows up when I do that. And these are the news items that basically are there in this, right? So this is a lot of core RSS, raw RSS. But if you parse this and you show it neatly, this is what is there in that RSS. So you can see there's something about Databricks, serving endpoint with external model, Databricks community. And if you come here and you do a quick search on Databricks, you can see that there is something around Databricks here, serving endpoint. So this is the raw RSS, and this is how it looks. And when you click on it, it should take you to whatever is that URL, right? So it will take you to that URL. So now what I'm going to do is, I'm basically going to, we have the RSS with us. So this RSS will get updated whenever there is a new entry, right? Whenever something Google detects, it will automatically update that RSS, right? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to make use of the RSS module that make.com provides. I'm going to come here, select this RSS, and it says watch RSS feed items. So, and there's something called as a trigger. A trigger is, when should this module be invoked, right? That's the trigger. So we are saying, hey, watch these RSS feed items. So I'm just selecting that. It then asks me what is the link to the RSS. I'm going to provide it, and how many items do I want it to return, right? So let's just say, if this is a continuous flow kind of a system which is running every 10 minutes, you might want to do 10 articles. But given that this is more like a POC right now, I'm just going to select one here, but you can have as many as you want. But just remember, every fetch, every time you do this, and is basically an operation, in the sense, when you go forward, you're not just going to stop here, right? So if you fetch 10 and you want to then do 10 parsing of those 10 RSS items, that's going to cost you 10 operations. So anytime a module is invoked, it costs you an operation. So I'm just picking one here, but this is you can do as much as you want. And then there are certain, if the RSS feed is protected with password and all that, then you can do that as well. Or if there is a specific format in which it is, and you want to process it using iTunes or Google Merchant Center, you can do that as well. So I'm not selecting any of that. So we don't need any advanced setting at the moment. So we're going to say okay, and I'm going to say okay. And there you have an option. How do you want to do it? When you are deploying it on production, it should be from now on. But given the fact that I am right now just testing, I'll say, hey, select the first RSS feed item, right? And it then parses all of that. If you see, it's parsing all of that and saying, okay, this one you mean, or which one you mean, right? So, and you have these various places where you want to start. And I'm select the first RSS feed item. So there we'll say okay. I'm sorry. And I'm just going to name this Google alerts to Airtable. Yeah. So we're going to We're going to make use of Google Alerts, RSS, and we're then going to save it in Airtable. And I'm going to teach you all of that, right? Just hang in there, and I'm sure you will learn something new. So once you are here, if you right click on this, right, and you say run this module only, what that means is it will only run this module. We have already chosen where we want to start from. So now I'll just run this. So if I say run this module only, it has, if you look at it, it says something has come up. This icon shows, the search icon basically means that. And if you see here, it only says one bundle, right? Why is it saying only one bundle? Because it's only fetching one item right now, right? But if I change this and I make it 2, and now, and this it says 1 here, which means one operation got consumed, right? So now if I run this module only, you can see, okay, it did not return because we probably did not choose where to start from. Processes, all items available in the export. I'm just going to take that and then only going to take 2. Let's see what happens when I run this, right? So run this module and it says bundle 1 and bundle 2. Now you see there are 2 bundles that are coming in. So first bundle has the OpenAI raises record $6.6 billion. Investors back its AI dominance, e-marketeer, and then there's some description. Then there is a URL for that news, right? Then there's also some image which is empty. There's another thing about, again, OpenAI raising $6.6 billion potentially. So let's say I'm just going to again change this thing back to 1. Say okay, choose where to start, and I'm going to say select the first RSS feed item. This you have to do right now because it's not live yet, right? So we are just doing testing right now. And if you now run this module only, it is picking the first one, right? Now what we want to do is, if you come back to our flow, what we want to do is we want to follow the article, right? So the following the article basically means I want to go to that URL, fetch the news, right? So how do you do that in make.com? Now we have this article, we have the metadata available. I also have a URL that I want to go to. If you just go to this URL, let's say if I just copy this URL, let me expand this, and if I just copy this URL and go here and press, it says the page you were trying is sending you to somewhere, and we'll just take that, right? So let's just say now I have this, I'll just go to an HTTP module. So HTTP, they have an HTTP module which allows you to get a file, make a request, retrieve headers, and there are more, right? There are more, several operations you can do. I'm just going to make a request, right? So I'm going to make a request and then says, hey, which URL do you want to make a request to? The URL, as I click on that, I can see the entries from the RSS module, and I want to select the URL here. So I'll say this URL you should, and this, you don't have to hard code this. If you hard code, then it's going to make only to that URL. But what I'm doing here is I'm basically selecting whatever is the URL field that we got as part of this run. So this URL I'm picking from this. So I'm just basically going to come here, select this URL, right? So delete all of this, select this field called URL. Method is get. We don't have to put any headers and all of that right now. Parse the response, okay. And let's just say, okay, we are going to do a test run and see what comes up. Select the first RSS feed item. I'm just going to say, okay. And now come here and do run once. I'm going to select this run once. And you see, both of these now ran. So this one ran, it gave us this. It gave us the same output, right? And now let's see what happened when we made a call to the HTTP headers. So the HTTP headers then gave us some, it gave us that same thing that, it wants to send you to the cnbc.com and all of that, right? So that's where we are now. So what we need to do is maybe also follow the request, right? So how do I follow the request? I'll have to basically come here and maybe change the module. So, okay, I deleted that HTTP module. I'm going to recreate that HTTP module. This is where we were. and we are going to say make a request. Now when we say make a request, the URL, like I said earlier, is going to be this URL, right? And what we are going to do is parse response yes, and we'll see show advanced settings, and here there should be a follow redirect yes, follow all redirect yes. Let me just move myself here and then say okay. Yeah, and now I'm going to just again, guys, this thing will require you to do some to and fro, so treat it more like learning exercise. I'm also building this right in front of you. I don't have it like pre-built. I'm going to start from here, okay? And then once you have done this, come here and press run once. Run once basically means it will run this entire thing once. That's it, right? When you turn this thing on, it will then run as per the scheduling. In a free plan, you don't get less than 15 minutes worth of scheduling. So if your operation can run every 15 minutes, but not earlier. So I'll just say run once. What this means is it's going to make a call to the RSS module. It's going to fetch that first RSS thingy, and then it is going to make a call to this URL. So it's making a call. You see, this is the input. It's making a call to this URL. And as part of the output, I'm getting this. This is the data. It's probably that JavaScript, right? You know, it's some HTML, and within that, there's a JavaScript. What I'm going to do is, this thing is not redirecting because it's within a JavaScript, and this is not a headless browser. So if this was a plain 302 redirect, it would have captured the redirect. But this is like a 200. If you look at it, this is the status code 200, which means okay. Everything is okay. The page has loaded, right? But has the page actually loaded? No. The page has a JavaScript inside it, which would have then redirected the user. But because this is a scripted call which make.com is making, we are getting this data back. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this entire thing, come to my favorite Perplexity. I use Perplexity a lot, and I'm just going to dictate it that what is the problem. I use start dictation, so I'm just going to basically better dictation. So I'm just going to start dictating and let it figure out. So I'm using make.com, and I have this HTML and JavaScript in it. I want you to basically write a regex code for make.com, which will allow me to get the URL from that code. It's basically some code which is trying to redirect the user to a certain URL. I want you to extract that URL, give me the regular expression code for it that I can use in make.com. Yeah. Sure. And now I'm just going to paste this code, right? Whatever I copied, I'm just pasted that. So now let's just see. It is going to basically make use of whatever it knows, and it's going to give me the regex. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make use of that regular expression. So it says this is the text, and if I use this text, it should match. To extract using a regular, you use the following regex pattern. Okay. While regex should work for it, may need adjustment to the URL structure changes. Okay, let's just see. I'll just copy this, come here, and this make.com has something called as text parsing. So I'm just going to say text, and it comes here called text parsing, and I'm going to match a pattern here. This is the module that I'm interested in. Within text parser, I'm basically going to match pattern. And what is the pattern? I'm matching this pattern, right? So should it be a global match? Yes. If you select this, even if it finds the first one, it is going to continue. Though it's not useful for us, I'm just saying yes. And then what should it match? So here, it should basically, we should say you should match the data. Yeah. So I'm going to say okay. Now what I'm going to do is again run this thing once and see whether the match was successful or not. If the match is successful, then we should ideally get this URL. This URL, like it says that you will get this URL. That's what we should be able to see, right? We should be able to see here. And I'm going to just run once, run anyway. And let's see, did it actually get, it said first fallback match is this 4 billion. Yeah, it does seem like it was able to get it. It is getting multiple bundles because for us, I had selected that this should be like a global match. If I just say single match, then it will stop as soon as it gets the first match. So let me just select that. Again, rerun this. I'm consuming my credit, but it's okay, right? I'll still not consume 1000 credits for sure. So, and run anyway. And now if you come here, we can see that there is a bundle, but this bundle is empty, which is surprising, honestly. because till now we were getting. So maybe just select global match, case sensitive, no, continue matching, continue the execution if the, no, okay. Let's just again run it. Select the first one, OpenAI, okay, run once, yeah. And now let's see what are we getting. Again, we are getting 2 fallback matches, which is okay. I think we are getting the URL. That's what we wanted. So from this RSS feed, I'm now getting the URL. Now the next step is that we should ideally be able to follow the article, right? So I should be able to fetch this article. So far, we set up the Google keyword, we set up an RSS feed of the keyword, and we now are parsing that RSS feed. We have not written a single line of code till now, right? So we are parsing this feed. When we parse this feed, we realize that Google RSS feeds work in a certain way. There are various other apps. You can use that and get another URL for this modified RSS app. That way, basically RSS feed, that way you don't have to do all of this jing bang. But because I'm doing everything from scratch and not relying on any other tool, that's why I'm following this. Now, ideally, I should make use of another HTTP module and say make a request. Now, which URL should I make a request to? I should make a request to the first fallback match. Okay. So that should be my first fallback match URL that I should basically make a call to. And it should be a get, and I should say parse the response and just be done with it for now. Okay. So when I do this, let's again run this, choose where to start. So guys, what have I done till now? I have selected the Google Feeds RSS URL. I am specifying that select start from here. We'll make a RS call to the URL, then we'll do some regex parsing on it, regular expression parsing to extract that URL from whatever we saw here. So we saw some code here. We wanted to just pick this URL out. So we wrote some regex for that. That regex is then, we are then making a call, HTTP call to this URL that we fetch from here, which is this URL, right? So I'm now going to make a HTTP call to actually fetch the contents. So we'll say run once. Again, let's just see what happens when we run once. It's making a HTTP call. It did something. It made 2 calls actually, because there were 2 URLs. It made 2 calls. Ideally, we should stop it at 1. There are ways. I'm not getting into it right now, right? So when we stop, because there were 2 fallback URLs. Now, if you look at it, it has found all of this, right? So there is like, this is the entire page. Now, but this is very dirty in the sense, this is not readable. So what we are again going to do is make use of again the text parsing capability. We're going to say text parser, HTML to text. So that's the HTML code that we have got. I am going to come here, say data. Okay. And I'm going to just run this. Okay. Was there a way for me to just go to I equal to 1? So this is the first fallback match. Okay, there's no way it seems to stop this at first, but okay. So because I'm getting 2 operations here, I don't want this to continue in 2 as 2 operations right now. So right now it will make 2 calls. I'll not complicate this for now, but it will make 2 calls because here it found 2 fallback matches. Maybe I need to go back to Perplexity and tell it that, hey, why am I getting 2 fallback matches? And it will give me another RSS, another regular expression. Why am I getting 2 fallback matches here? I want you to update the regex such that I get only 1 URL. I don't want 2 URLs. Right, so now I don't want 2 URLs. Right, so I'm getting this. I'll just tell it that I'm getting this. Let's just see what it comes back with, right? So the idea here is to make the AI only figure out the regex. To get only 1 URL, we can modify it like this. Okay, let's do that. This seems interesting. So it's saying, hey, instead of getting these 2, you just modify it to this. Let's just see. Okay, I'll just change that. Again, come back here, select where to start from. I'll start from here. And then run this once, right? So just move myself here, run this once, run anyway. You get some warnings because it does. Okay, something happened. Validation failed for 1 parameter. What was that? Okay, I think our thing would have changed. So we might have to update this. Did we get one URL this time? Yeah, we got one URL this time. If you look at it, right, there were no two bundles. So what we have to do is we have to come back here, maybe even delete this module once, and I'm just going to delete this module as well. And from here, what I'm going to do is make a HTTP call, make a request, and I'm just going to say, is it fallback? I don't see fallback, but why is this thing asking me? Let's just save this as well. Save anyways. I'll run this again. Sorry guys, sometimes this is like, and I'm not building, I've not built it and I'm not rebuilding it. This is like the first time I'm building it. So you might be thinking that, hey, there's too much of if and buts, but that's part of the learning exercise, right? Whenever you're learning a new tool, these kind of things will happen. So we did get this. Now I'm going to make a HTTP call, make a request, come here. Still says fallback match, but it says $1. Okay, sorry, there was a $1. I'm just going to pick this $1, pass the response yes, and I'm going to say add the next one, which was HTML to text. So which text do I want? I want this data. It's not yet populated, but once it's populated, you can see the values against them. So, but this is the data is going to come. So I'm just going to say, okay, pass this HTML to text. That way it will become cleaner for us. And if you see this icon auto align, when you click on this, if something has gone up and all of that, when you do auto align, it will auto align. Now again, I'm going to rerun. So select the first RSS feed item, and we are going to say okay, and I'm going to run this once, right? So run anyway. Now it's making a call, it's sending that to HTTP, and here if you look at it, we have got much cleaner HTML, right? And you can see here, you can see all of that text. OpenAI gets $4 billion revolving credit line, giving it more than $10 billion in liquidity squawk and all of that, right? So you see, I got all of this. Now I can write more text, more regex to basically eliminate all of this, which is basically coming because the page probably has menu items and all of that. I can remove all of that, but I'm not doing that right now. I'll just let it be. What I want to now show you is, so far we have come to the point where we were able to take a RSS feed. We have not written a single line of code. We did a lot of regex. We then made calls, HTTP calls, and we have the output of that page now in front of us, right? So now what I want to do is I want to send this thing to OpenAI, right? So I want to create a completion. So what you need to do is, first I'm going to select, come here. So I want to now send this thing. I'm here now. So we have done some pre-processing, and now I want to send this to ChatGPT, right, for completion. What I want to do is I want to give it to ChatGPT and say, hey, you know what, summarize this, give me 3 bullet points I can post on LinkedIn, something like that, right? So I'm going to write a prompt for that. Now, in order to do that, what you need to do is you need to go to platform.openai.com, log in, and create yourself a log. If you don't already have a login, get yourself a login. And you will need some credits here, guys, because we are making a call to OpenAI. We need a key. So go to dashboard, go to API keys, load some money in your thing, go to usage and load some money here. In your, you mean $5 is more than enough, I feel, right? Just increase your limit, go to billing and add some credits, right? So my credit balance is still there, so you can add your credit balance. And then once you have done that, come back to your dashboard, come to API keys and create a new secret key. So I'm going to say make.com generative key, right? So I'm just going to create this secret key and copy this key. Once you copy this key, come back here to make.com, select the OpenAI module. So once you select the OpenAI module, show more, create a completion. This is what we want. And if you look at it, it has analyzed images, it has generated an image, it has created a translation, it has created a transcription, all of that. Very powerful, guys. I'm telling you, make.com, I love it. Amazing. And such a great visual flow. So create a completion. And by the way, this entire blueprint is available as part of the link in YouTube, right? I've posted the link. Once, if you don't want to recreate this entire thing, you can just watch the video and come here, import blueprint. It will ask you to import the JSON. You can just give that JSON, go to that link, download that JSON, and then come here, import. All of this will get recreated. You will obviously have to put your keys and all of that. Those don't, you won't get access to my keys, by the way. So so API keys, copy, don't worry about it. I'm just going to delete this key after I'm done. So come here, integration, create a connection, you put your API key, and you get, this seems new, organization ID. I'll just see OpenAI, and today is 3rd October, 3 OCT, save. Let's see if the connection goes through. That means we are done. Yeah. So, and then it says create a chat completion, and then it asks you, hey, which model you want? Do you want O1 mini? Do you want O1 preview? GPT-4o? Which model do you want? Like, I'm going to use GPT-4o mini, and then you select your roles. So once you have selected the method, you select the model, then you select the role. So I'm just going to say, you are a helpful assistant who writes engaging summaries for LinkedIn. Okay. Then what's your message? I'm just going to say user, and user has to be, you are provided with a news item. Your job is to extract key elements from the news item. I'm just going to close this and maybe increase this. From the news item, and create an engaging LinkedIn post. Do remember that this post should be written in friendly and Spartan-like English. Also, do not include emojis. Do include bullet points with some arrow-like character for key points that you find. Okay. So once you do this, we'll just say news item follows. Okay. So what we are now going to do is, I'm just going to copy whatever data I got, like, whatever text I got here. So I'm just going to copy this. Max tokens, I can leave it as 0. And then there are more advanced settings. We don't need to touch that. Temperature, I'll just reduce it to 0.7. And rest, I'll just let it be. And we'll say okay, right? So now what is going to happen is, the URL gets fetched, cleanup happens. That cleanup is then sent to ChatGPT. It is supposed to create, as per the prompt, it is supposed to create some LinkedIn post for us, right? And create an engaging LinkedIn post that should get LinkedIn post. Your goal when building this LinkedIn post should be to write it in a way that it gets maximum impressions from LinkedIn's algorithm. Okay. So we have given it some character saying, hey, write it in a way that LinkedIn's algorithm gives it preference. And let's just see what output comes back, right? So we are again going to restart. I'm going to say choose where to start. And the reason we have to pick up is because default is from now on. So if there is nothing from the last run, then it will return 0, right? So, and I don't want that. So I'm forcing it to start from a certain point. So I'm starting from a certain point. This HTTP call is happening, cleanup is happening. Now it has gone to ChatGPT. So let's just see what came back, right? So our message was, we sent 2 messages. The user was, you are provided with news content. And here you can see all of this news content has gone, right? So now what's the result? So let's just quickly come here, close this and look at the result, right? So OpenAI has just secured a major financial boost, further solidifying its position in the AI landscape. Here are the key takeaways. And you see, I asked it to create some sort of an arrow-like structure. So it is giving me this. Despite generating in revenue, OpenAI is projected to incur a loss of $5 billion. OpenAI's rapid growth since the launch is reshaping the tech industry. Stay tuned for more updates in this evolving space. So you see, I now got a post which I can just quickly copy, and there is a LinkedIn, by the way, there is a LinkedIn module also, right? So there is a LinkedIn module. I can come here, I can say, hey, create a user text post. And if I create that user text post, it will ask you for a connection. You can say, hey, LinkedIn open ID connection or whatever. I'm not creating a post on LinkedIn right now, right? So what I'm instead doing is, but if you want, you can do that. That's my point. So you see how from nothing we came till the chat GPT output, and it also tells you how many tokens you used and all of that, right? So how from there you basically came to a point where this result has the entire thing, right? So we started from a Google alert. From there we are now to the point where we have a ready to use post. What I'm now going to do is, as part of this final thing, I'm going to save it to the database. I'm not publishing to the web. I'll show you in the next video how to publish to the web. This will be like too much, I feel. So I'm just stopping at Airtable. So go to airtable.com. And again, Airtable is also free. So I'm just going to log out from my primary one and create a new one. Airtable, for our purposes, is also free. It's also a very powerful tool. I highly recommend that you try it out. Continue with Google. And it's asking me to sign up, and I'm just going to say web of it startup, start quick bot systems, continue, and save item, Airtable start quick bot. Yeah, sure. And here what I'm going to do is just select something, just say product and design, operations, engineering, marketing, finance. Continue. Yeah, no, skip for now. Continue. Let's start by setting up your app. I don't know why it's asking me to set up an app and all that. I don't want an app. With a 14-day trial, get started. Okay. Got it. Yeah. So I'm here. I'll just say, let's name this base. Let's call it Google Alerts to Summary. Okay, Google Alerts to Summary. We can name this table as whatever we want. So I'm just going to say Google Alerts to LinkedIn. Okay, so this is the table where we would want to save. Now again, Airtable is also free for our use. What we need to do is, I just need to change a few things here. This row I don't want, or maybe I want, but I don't want it to be known as name. I should say LinkedIn post. Long text. It has what type of field you want. Long text is perfectly fine. Save. Assignee. No, I don't want any assignee. Status. Maybe we can have like the default status. We can say, hey, it's at an insert stage right now. Published. Rejected. Whatever you want, right? So we can have various statuses. Published can be a green. And insert is, or default is basically that it has just landed in our inbox, right? So and then I generally prefer to have like a record ID, which is a formula field. So you go to formula and then you say equal to record underscore ID, and this gives you like a record ID that you can reference later, right? So not useful right now, but these are certain things that you will learn if you keep doing it. And we can even have like a created time field, and maybe an last edited or last modified time. Yeah. So I generally prefer to have these two time fields. You don't have to do anything. Name should basically become more like source title, maybe title, single line text. Okay. We'll add one more field and we'll call it source URL, and it should be URL, and we can say okay, and I'll just bring it here next to the why we don't even need source, it can just be URL, right? The field type is URL. So we have this. Let's just see now. Now what we are going to do is make a call to from make.com to Airtable. So I'm going to come here, close this, come here, go to Airtable. Yeah. And in Airtable, what we are going to do is we are going to say create a record. Now, when we say create a record, it's first going to ask me to create a connection. Come here, say Airtable OAuth, and I'm just going to say Google Alerts LinkedIn, right? Today is 3rd October, so I just like to put some date as well so that I know how old is the connection. It will ask you to sign in, and I'll just say web start bot systems, web start quick bot, continue, sign in, and then I will have to basically grant access to which base I want it to have access to. So add a base, and you can see right now I only have one base, so Google Alerts to summary. I'll just grant this access. Once the access is there, now it will be able to write to my Airtable, right? So it's creating that connection. And now that the connection is done, I say that this is the base, Google Alerts to summary. Which table? Again, I only have one table right now, but if you have multiple, you will see those tables getting listed. If let's say I create a table now, start from scratch and call it table 2, and come here and press refresh, you should be able to see table 2 as well in the list. Let's see. Yeah. So you see table 2 also showing up in the list now. So for us, Google Alerts LinkedIn, and now it's asking me, hey, what should be the values for these fields in the database? What should be the values for these fields? So title for us is basically the title we got here. So I'm just going to map this title here. URL is what I got here. So I'm just going to paste the URL from the text parser. And this is the beauty of we did several steps as part of the pipeline. Now I can pick variables from those individual steps and insert in Google using make.com into Airtable. I don't have to worry. So LinkedIn post, that's my result, right? Status, I'll not say map, I'll pick. So map, basically you pick map when you want to pick from some other flow output of some other module. But here I want to just define saying that, hey, it should be default, right? Smart links, no. And I'm just going to say, okay, right? And I'm just going to come back here, save this. Again, run this once, right? So run this once, choose where to start, select the first item, and OpenAI launches new Canva ChatGPT interface. So you see, we now have more things coming in, but I'll just pick this one, say okay. Did I pick the other one? First, I want to just pick whatever was working for us. Reuters, CNBC. I think it was CNBC. Yeah, okay, let's just see. And now I'm going to come here, run this once. So all of these are running. This is running, ChatGPT is running. This is the output we got. Okay, no problem. ChatGPT is running and Airtable also ran. So here, ideally we should have seen something show up. Oh no, I'm on table 2. Okay. So here you see, I should delete the row 1. So if you look at it, I now got, this is my title, OpenAI gets, and I can just change it to extra tall. So OpenAI gets $4 billion revolving credit line, giving it more than $10 billion in liquidity. This is the URL, LinkedIn post is available. I can just come here and copy this and quickly go to my LinkedIn and post, right? Major liquidity boost, financial institutions involved, JP Morgan Chase and all of that. And status is default. This is the record ID. This is, so you see guys, we wrote the entire pipeline. We did not write a single line of code, and I was able to get from Google Alerts. We were able to get now if you want, you want to run it every day, if not every minute, once every day, you can just say, hey, every day just run this, or maybe at regular intervals, run it every who knows, maybe you want to run it every 1 hour, right? So 60 minutes. If you do that, just say okay and then turn it on, right? When you do that, now it is going to run every hour on its own. And if there is an error or there's a situation, we did not do error handling. We're going to cover error handling in some other videos that I'm going to post on this. But this is how it is. You basically start from a concept that you have, and then keep building using the modules they have, right? So if you keep following my videos here, I'm sure my goal here will be to teach you a lot about not just simple workflows, but even very complex workflows, right? So that's my goal, where we'll do some partial code, we'll write our own endpoint as well, and we'll host it on Render or on DigitalOcean or on AWS somewhere, and we'll invoke make.com or some Chrome extension which will make calls to our endpoints. It'll be a fascinating journey, that I promise you. I hope you liked the video today. If you did, please do like, subscribe, share your comments, share your feedback. I'll be really grateful and would love to really see what you do with these kind of tools that we have. Thank you so much. And with this, I'll just pause this. Scenario is not running. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So thank you so much and have a good one.